All right, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. It is Morgan Hill, aka Live Loves Literature, and today we're going to be talking about. This is a part 2 to the video I will have already uploaded about my most underwhelming reads of the year and also my most surprising. So yeah, let's get into it. But yeah, that part 1 was for my physical books that I read. This part 2 is gonna be for the books that I read on Kindle. Okay, so you're gonna see me looking on my laptop because obviously I don't have the books, so I need something to reference. Okay, so yeah, I didn't get my Kindle until July, so all of these books I'm gonna be talking about are from the second half of the year. Okay, this is really cool, like to look back on your stats and stuff. Anyways, so yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is Claws and Feathers by Jennifer Hartman. I did not love this book. I felt like this book was what Unwanted by Mia Sheridan, it was trying to be what Unwanted by Mia Sheridan really actually was, because there were a lot of similarities between like the structure of the stories, but yeah, it shocked me. I always forget like that's another Jennifer Hartman that I read this year, which by the way, Jennifer Hartman is my most read author this year, if you couldn't tell. So yeah, that's a statistic for you. My most read author is Jennifer Hartman. But yeah, it's just yeah, it was like a girl was kidnapped. It's a mix between Still Beating and Unwanted by Mia Sheridan. A girl was kidnapped, and then like the cop who helps rescue her, she like falls in love with him because he's like her hero. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So yeah, this is obviously on the list of books that I was underwhelmed by, or like shocked in a negative way. I don't like the word disappointed, I'm sorry. Okay, Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. So yeah, another Jennifer Hartman. Okay, so we had some high highs and some lows for Jennifer Hartman this year, because you already know there are 2 Jennifer Hartmans in my favorites, in my top 10 of the year. So before you try to say I don't like Jennifer Hartman, she has 2 books in my top 10 of the year. It's just that I read more Jennifer Hartman than any other author, so she's more likely to be in my highs and my lows than just somewhere in between. But anyways, Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. This, oh my gosh, this was after I had just read Aria and Coda by Jennifer Hartman. But yeah, Lotus, I don't know, it was underwhelming for me. I wanted it to be more like more danger, more something, but yeah, it didn't have like any dangerous aspects or any aspects where I was really like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next, or like this is a huge like stake in the relationship. So I don't know. Ooh, we had a couple of yeah, Gothicana by Runix. Gothicana, I think maybe I don't like dark academia. Maybe that's why. The relationship, I can't even tell you what this is about. I know she ends up going to this university or something to study something. I don't even know. But she ends up having like a relationship with one of the professors, and it's kind of weird and creepy and predatory. It's kind of weird and creepy and predatory, and I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I just don't really like it. And then like someone tries to unalive themselves because of one reason or the other. I think, and then actually, it's all coming back to me. The last girl who was in a relationship with this same professor did unalive herself. So I don't know. I don't know. It got a 1.5 out of 5 from me. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Yeah, I expected the writing. Let me just talk about the writing. The writing was so good. The writing was so good. This is not my first V.E. Schwab. I read A Darker Shade of Magic like 8 years ago. But The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, like, she's supposed to be like, I've heard about this book so many, like, I just felt like it was gonna be life changing, and it wasn't. There are either people that like, oh my gosh, life changing, or people like me who are like, wait, what happened? You know? But yeah, if you don't know what it's about, you really should read the description. If you haven't heard what it's about by now. But I mean, basically, the chick is invisible, and I'm not gonna tell you why, because I feel like figuring out why is like part of the fun of it, I guess. But yeah, the chick is invisible. Nobody can see her except for one boy. Why? Find out. But yeah, I feel like that's really that. Like that, like there was no concrete ending. The romance wasn't like, oh my gosh, swoon worthy. So like I don't know really what I was supposed to gain. I don't know. That is it for the books that I was underwhelmed by, Kindle edition. Okay, now it's time to talk about books I was surprised and happy about, Kindle edition. Okay, yeah. Well, let's first talk about Catch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman. I'm gonna include books in here that I may have included in my top 10 just because they also cross over, okay? So, Catch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman. See, isn't that so funny that she's on both ends of the spectrum? But anyway, Catch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman. Now, this is Jennifer Hartman that started it all. I love this book. I've talked enough about it, though. I've talked enough about it. So this is all I'm going to say, is that it is on the list of books that had me shook because I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, okay? Zoop! That's it, because I've talked about it enough. Watch my other videos. Put this on there. The Art of Falling for You by Maya Hughes. This was like a cute little book. Like, I didn't expect it to be like as good as it was. It is a trilogy. I did read the other two. If I were to ever reread the whole series, I wouldn't reread the whole series. I will only reread the first book because I actually like really like the first book. But yeah, it's a football player and like a kind of like weird girl who like is like whatever. It reminds me a lot of Catch the Sun, to be honest with you. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of all I can remember about it. But he's a football player. She sings. Her name is Bay. His name is Dare. I really like their names. I thought they were really unique. And yeah, it's like a popular guy and a, you know, like a nobody girl, which I eat. If it's done right, I eat that up. So yeah. Okay. On the Line by Naomi Loud. Okay, I told y'all I found this book. This was in my October wrap-up, so go watch my October wrap-up. But anyways, On the Line by Naomi Loud. This was in my October wrap-up. I found this book on Instagram because someone had like made this meme where it was like, I can't even say it because it's very inappropriate. But basically it was about like chefs and how like, you know, the appeal of being with a chef. And yeah, so this is about a girl who starts working at a restaurant. She's a hostess or whatever, and she starts liking one of the chefs. I mean, that's really that. Like, it sounds really, really simple, but she is overcoming like a really bad relationship that I think she is currently in at the beginning of the book. Yeah, like she's in like I don't think it's an abusive relationship. It might be though. No, I think it is. And then like there's this chef, he's like his name is Ozzy, and like everybody likes him, and he's just like fun, and he just like helps her kind of overcome some things. And I don't know. It was really, really good. It was so fun, and I would absolutely read it again. Okay? You need a fun book. You need a fun book. Okay, you already know I have to talk about it. You already know I have to talk about it. But I'm not going to talk about it any further. Aria by Jennifer Hartman. That's it, because this book is also in my top 10 of the year. I talked about it in my October wrap-up. I've talked about it in, like, every video ever. So I cannot talk about it any further. Otherwise, y'all will get mad at me. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Aria by Jennifer Hartman. Read it. Read it. It's sitting right there. Look at my Jennifer Hartman collection. My favorite Jennifer Hartmans ever are both sitting right there. That's Catch the Sun and that's Aria. That's how much I love them. Okay. Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I won't say this is a book I will ever read again. I probably won't ever read it again just because it was that traumatic. Okay? It was that traumatic of a story. This is a story about a woman, and it's in the basketball. It's part of her Hoop series. It's the first book. I read it because I knew it was like a forbidden romance because a girl was in a relationship and she was kind of, seemed to be like entertaining this other guy named August. Her name is Iris. His name is August. She's in an incredibly abusive relationship. And I say incredibly because it's not like, there are some books, I read a lot of books that cover the topic of abusive relationships. I've read a lot. But this one, by far, was the most intense. Like, I'm thinking about a scene with a weapon that was so intense that I will never even be able to view life the same way. Like, that's how you know that a book was so, like, it was so well written, like 10, 10, 10s across the board, but I can never read that again unless they turn it into a movie or something. If they turn it into a movie, I know they had to cut some stuff out because that's how crazy it was. But yeah, it was just crazy. I realized I didn't even really talk about what it's about, but I talked about this in my October wrap-up, so go watch my October wrap-up. Okay. The Deal by Elle Kennedy. If you don't know what The Deal by Elle Kennedy is about by now, you're lying to yourself, okay? It's a hockey romance. It's a hockey romance. It's not the hockey romance. It's not Icebreaker, which I have not read. Who knows if I will. But it is a hockey romance. Graham and Hannah. Okay, if I remember the characters' names, that's how you really know that it really stuck with me. But yeah, it was so cute. Like, it felt like so rom-com-y, so like you're watching your favorite rom-com, and I just loved every second of it. Like, it was so good. Graham, he needs to pass this test or pass this class. Hannah is smart. I forgot what's in it for her. Oh, she likes this guy on the football team, I think. She likes this guy on the football team. Graham, even though he plays hockey, he's cool with everybody. So he's trying to get her a date with a what? So it's the deal. It's the deal, and it's so cute. If you like Better Than the Movies, you'll like this. Okay. I realized I included Still Beating in my other video. But I technically did read that on Kindle first. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. Oh, and my last, but certainly not the least, okay, Flawless by Miss Elsie Silver. Because Elsie Silver, she almost had me out the door. Because I started off the year last January with Reckless. And I don't know. Something about it, it was not for me. Dang it. Why did I not include that in my part 1? Well, if you're watching this, Reckless should have been included in my part 1. That I just, the girlies were hyping up this Chestnut Spring series. And after I read Reckless, I was like, But Flawless, though, is on the other end of the spectrum. I loved Flawless. It was so cute. It was so good. I would absolutely read it again, and I want to buy the physical copy because it was just that good. Like, it was just good, man. Like, he started off grumpy, but then he quickly became ungrumpy. And Summer, but Summer, okay, it's Summer and Rhett. Rhett's a bull rider. Summer is like she works for an agency that helps athletes or whatever. And she's trying to help Rhett clean up his mess. And yeah, she wasn't taking note from him, and at first he wasn't taking note from her, but then they obviously like learn to coexist with each other and help each other out with their family trauma. And yeah, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. So that is it, y'all, for my Kindle edition of my most surprising / exciting reads / like my most disappointing reads. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Bye, y'all.